G'day everyone, welcome back to Pete's Investing, Bluechip Review, and we're following the Alligator strategy. If you haven't seen that video, please go back a couple of episodes and digest the details of the entry, the exit and the average down approach we use for the Alligator strategy. In today's review, we're going to cover a couple of stocks from Australia, the US and Europe, and respond in terms of some are going sideways, some are going down, and a couple are ready to buy potentially if you're interested in some of these. But again, this is the summary in terms of our performance of this portfolio since the start of on a daily chart since 2007. The top here shows the entry and exit criteria on our strategy and the average down approach. And again, please review the video made a couple of episodes ago to get an in-depth summary of how that works. But in essence, we're using the Alligator approach, the Alligator lips greater than the teeth and the close being greater than the high fractal, and the awesome indicator greater than 0 and a CCI 100 greater than 0 as the entry, the exit, the close less than the alligator teeth, and we also want to maintain a minimum gain of the last 100 bars of the high-low range multiplied by 0.5. And the average down approach, when the close is less than the average price, and the Alligator says basically when it closes less than the average price, we've dropped that range of the last 100 bars, and we're going to use the entry technique as the entry for the average down approach as well. But summary, we're looking at these stocks again from Australia, Europe and the US, and how they've performed in terms of returns if we invested $2,000 for each trade. In other words, every time we buy, we invest $2,000 worth. And that's on today's date. So that basically is the bottom line of 28,619 divided by 177 months is an average of $162 return per month. That's on average. The drawdown is basically from the highest profitability level to the lowest in any one particular chart. And that's how much you just need to have in the bank. Again, this is all your money, so make sure you've got that amount in the bank to support these. We're not trading CFDs on these necessarily. This approach, or this strategy, by the way, also works for currencies as well as indices, but also for shares as well, and we're covering blue chip shares. So just in summary here, the CBA has gone sideways in terms of the week's progress. BHP has dropped and is still dropping and hitting some key resistance lines at the moment. JP Morgan is making some slight gains. Volkswagen is going sideways. Telefonica is dropping, and Johnson & Johnson and Caterpillar are approaching buy statuses in the coming days, possibly. Don't forget to always subscribe to the channel, hit the like button and the notification bell to get updates. And this is our strategy playlist, and this is where you can view some of the strategies we're using, and in particular the Alligator strategy that we're covering in today's video. Again, we're not offering financial advice, it's purely an educational series. So let's get started. So let's first look at the Commonwealth Bank. So again, this has been going sideways, bouncing between this support resistance area. This is on a daily chart. If you look at it going back to the start of, again, we're going back to 2007. You can see there, that's the trend of the CBA with a couple of key challenges you'll notice here. And we go back to 2007 because we wanted to test our strategy with the GFC, that's what happened there, but also with COVID in 2020. So again, when you refer to the summary on the results, we've gone back to 2007 to factor in those drops there and how that may have impacted our charts. So again, just in the CBA, it's still bouncing within this range, so I'll keep an eye on that. If you bought it back in each of these points, you could have potentially bought it. So if you bought it back here, you could potentially have sold it out in any one of these areas because you're making a bit of a profit at this point. Or if you've noticed here, the CCI 100 is broken above 0. The awesome indicator is also in the positive, and the alligator teeth, the green line, is broken above the red line, which is the lips greater than the teeth. And you could have possibly bought some shares there if you were trading this strategy. Next, we look at BHP. This has been declining for some time now. As you can see here, it's broken through these resistance areas, support areas, and it's bouncing off this green line here. You can see here, the awesome indicator is broken down, and it's been in steady decline, and the CCI 100 is still in decline. So hold on to your horses, and you may need to average down on this approach as well, depending on where you have bought it. Caterpillar. Now this has been also declining somewhat, but it's hitting this minor resistance area, and potentially once the CCI breaks above zero, you could potentially buy some more. Once the fractal breaks above the close, breaks above the fractal, the alligator's teeth's already set up, the awesome is already set up, and just once the CCI 100 breaks above zero, then you could potentially buy some more if you wanted to. Johnson & Johnson. This is also approaching a buy status. We're just waiting on the CCI 100 to break above zero. The awesome indicators are above zero. The alligator teeth lips above teeth are there, and once that breaks above the fractal, you could possibly buy some. So very similar to the Caterpillar approach. JP Morgan. Okay, back here you would have bought potentially more. The CCI 100 is above zero, the awesome's above zero, the alligator teeth and alligator strategies working there. So you could have potentially bought some at that point there for JP Morgan. We'll go to Telefonica. Now I've deliberately got some of these weaker stocks in here, such as BHP is performing poorly. Telefonica is also a very poor stock in my view, but it's approaching this resistance area and it's still in a decline. So hold on for potential further buys. So once you see our entry criteria and it's broken down far enough, possibly below this in some sort of area down here, and you can possibly buy some more there. And lastly, Volkswagen. This is also going sideways, bouncing in this range here. So just create another entry criteria there if you wanted to enter this trade. Broken above the fractal, the alligator teeth, the awesome indicator, and the CCI 100 is also broken. So that's in today's summary. Feel free to subscribe, hit the notification bell, and like the video.